99% of beginners don't know the basics of AI. Guys, welcome back to another reaction video here. I hope you guys are enjoying the channel, enjoying the videos. This one's going to be a little bit different. It's for probably beginners getting into AI. I'm not a beginner myself. I've been doing it about 2 years now. But if you are a beginner and you're looking to get involved in AI, I think this is going to be the perfect video for you. Maybe you have used ChatGPT, you've used Gemini, you've gotten involved in the LLMs. So if you're looking to build something maybe a little bit deeper, you're trying to understand how to build a AI agent, or you're trying to build a strategy on how you could build this out further, I think this is the perfect video for you. With that being said, let's jump right into it.
Last week, I spent 5 hours and $49 to complete Google's latest AI Essentials course for beginners. And since I need to recoup that money
Hey, there you guys go. If you're looking for an AI course to get started, check out the Google Beginners course.
to fund my addiction to parasocial relationships with AI, I made this video to share 5 key takeaways from the course, the pros and cons, and to give you a definitive answer as to whether this certificate you receive at the end will indeed get you laid. I mean, paid more because you now have a new skill.
This guy's trying to get laid using AI.
That was a weird slip of tongue there. Takeaway number 1. Broadly speaking, there are 3 types of AI tools out there. First, standalone tools are AI-powered software designed to work independently with minimal setup. This category includes general-purpose chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Perplexity, as well as specialized apps like Speako, Otter AI, Midjourney, and Gamma.
So this is probably with what a lot of you guys have used if you are a beginner into AI. This has nothing to do with in-depth coding applications or building out automations using Zapier, pulling data from different places using API keys, but also pulling in Google stuff, Google Sheets, Google Drives, your emails, different things like that.
Although they serve completely different needs, all these tools are classified as standalone because they can be accessed directly through their websites or apps and can be used without integration with other software. Okay. This is in contrast to the second category, tools with integrated AI features, which refers to built-in enhancements within a particular piece of software. For example, after drafting a post in Google Docs, I can either copy and paste this text over to a standalone app like ChatGPT to improve my writing, or I can use the built-in or integrated Gemini for Workspace AI feature to make adjustments. Another example would be I can either use Midjourney.
That's what I was going to say. If you're inside of Google Sheets, Google Drive, wherever you're working on, and you want to use Gemini, it's built in for you. You don't have to copy and paste from ChatGPT. That's what I was thinking while you were saying
as a standalone tool to generate images for a presentation, or I can create an image directly within Google Slides by using, again, Gemini for Workspace.
Okay, I did not know that. Google Slides, you could generate images right there. Okay,
directly within Google Slides by using, again, Gemini for Workspace.
And guys, this is why I'm making these videos, is because we're going to learn so much together about AI, how to build, how to use AI properly. That's why I'm making these videos. So if you guys are liking these videos and you want to follow along in this AI journey with me, and also want the chance to work with me day in and day out, how I'm using AI, how I'm building stores, how I'm building online money using cryptocurrency, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep building this out. Please comment below too.
In these instances, ChatGPT and Midjourney are standalone AI tools, and Google Docs and Google Slides are tools with integrated AI features. Third, a custom AI solution is an application that's tailor-made to solve a specific problem. For instance, Johns Hopkins University developed an AI system with the sole objective of detecting sepsis. This custom AI solution improved diagnostic accuracy from 2 to 5% to an average of 40%. And if you're like me and have no technical background, you might think, oh, custom AI solutions are extremely technical and I'll probably never have to use them in the workplace. In reality, the opposite is true because well-designed custom AI solutions should require little to no technical know-how. For example, when I was in the sales team, I managed over 200 clients every quarter, and performing research on every single one was obviously time-consuming. Nowadays, there are custom AI solutions that can ingest all the information about those 200 clients, take into account factors like seasonality, historical data, and industry trends, and rank those clients by how likely they are to need assistance.
Guys, basically, what AI does, it takes your data down and digest it and spits it back out to you in digestible things like seasonality, historical data, industry trends. It would take you, depending on how many clients you have and how big they are, it would take you hours and hours to read through all this stuff when you could just provide the data to an AI, large language model, and it's going to understand that, and then it's going to spit you back out data that you could actually use.
Helping the salesperson prioritize their time.
Sales,
By the way, if you're thinking of buying Google's AI Essentials course, don't. Because I only found out after I paid for it, you get the AI Essentials course for free if you enroll in the Google Project Management certification on Coursera, who is kindly sponsoring this portion of the video. Regular viewers know that I have a full-time job, and project management obviously plays a large part in my day-to-day. To be transparent though, I'm mainly self-taught since there wasn't a go-to course back in the day. But I recently started the project management certification on Coursera since it's now like the golden standard for project management. Project management is literally applicable to all industries and roles. So if you want to be more organized in the workplace, click the link below to enroll in the Google Project Management certification and unlock the AI Essentials course for free.
Okay, that's cool.
Thank you, Coursera, for sponsoring this part of the video. Back to my takeaways. The second learning from the course is a prompt engineering tip, and it's to surface the implied context. To illustrate this, imagine your vegetarian friend asks you for restaurant recommendations. You instinctively reply with vegetarian-friendly options, even if your friend doesn't explicitly say, "Hey idiot, make sure it's vegetarian." Here, the fact that your friend is a vegetarian is implied context and needs to be explicitly stated when communicating with AI tools like ChatGPT and Google Gemini. Another example might be you're preparing to negotiate a raise with your boss. You know in your head that last year you received a 10% increase. This year, you're the highest performer on the team, and the industry average is a 12% increase. So you decide to ask for 15% raise. If you leave out all that implied context when brainstorming negotiation techniques with an AI tool, you will receive a lower quality, aka more generic, output. If you want to dive deeper into this, I have an entire video on how to write the perfect prompt, so I'll leave a link to that down below.
Okay, cool guys. Maybe we'll check that video out because prompting is the most important thing when using AI.
And if you want to make a copy of my 5 favorite prompts for productivity, I'll leave a link to my completely free workspace toolkit as well. Takeaway number 3, know when to use zero shot and few shot prompting. In a nutshell, the word shot simply means examples. Zero shot means you use a prompt with no examples. One shot means you include one example. Few shot means you include 2 or more examples. For instance, a zero shot example might look something like, write me a pickup line for Bumble, which is a completely hypothetical scenario I would never condone, much less participate in.
This guy is always trying to get honeys using AI. This guy right here. Every video.
A one-shot prompt would be,
write
me a pickup line for Bumble. Reference this pickup line my friend used that worked well for him. And you include an example of what your friend wrote. A few-shot prompt would look the same as one shot with just 2 or more examples of successful pickup lines. And as you can imagine, the more relevant examples you provide the AI tool, the more relevant the output. And for the record, if my future wife is watching this, I've obviously never done this myself. This is just an example for this video. As a matter of fact, I don't even use dating apps. Takeaway number 4, use chain of thought prompting for complex tasks. I've talked about this concept in previous videos, but I really like this simple and straightforward definition from Google's course. When you divide a single task into more manageable steps, you help the large language model produce accurate and consistent results.
Here's my problem with this. When I will give AI something to work on, with maybe one key goal in mind of what we're trying to accomplish, it breaks it down into too many steps sometimes where I lose track and lose the plot of what the goal was because it has so many side quests that are inside of that one goal. And you could say, baby Bob, maybe you're being lazy, you got to work through all these steps to get to that final goal. 100%, I definitely agree. But I think sometimes it gets too in depth when you ask too in depth of a question. So it comes back to prompting, comes back to what the main goal is that you're trying to accomplish. But that's just my experience. Sometimes when it's a really lofty goal, something big that we're trying to accomplish, it just spits out too much information. I have to tell it, like, hey, trim this down. let's take one actionable step at a time, because it'll give you 30 things to do and then you just,
Relatable
it's
real world
overwhelming.
example would be writing a cover letter. Option 1, you share your current resume and the job description with the chatbot and just prompt it to write you a cover letter. Option 2, with chain of thought prompting. You break the large task, writing an entire cover letter, into manageable steps, with step 1 being, based on my resume and the job description, write an attention-grabbing hook for my cover letter. Then, after making some minor tweaks to the hook paragraph, step 2 would be pasting that back into the chatbot and asking it for the body paragraph. Rinse and repeat for the closing paragraph.
Okay, I see. So this is him actually using the AI to do it in different steps, right? So the first one is doing the hook for the cover letter. Step 2, doing the body, the description, the body of the cover letter. And then step 3, doing the closing for the cover letter. So he's actually breaking out himself as opposed to the AI telling him, okay, we're going to break it into 3 different parts.
If you want proof that this works, I have an entire video where I show job seekers how to use chain of thought prompting to not only write cover letters, but to also improve their resumes. I'll leave a link down below. Takeaway number 5 is a topic that many of us, including myself, tend to overlook when using AI tools, and it's to understand the limitations of AI. Broadly speaking, there are 3 main limitations. First, the underlying data that is used to train AI models may be biased. If a text-to-image model is only trained on minimalistic graphics, it might not be able to produce flashy and bold designs. Second, there simply wasn't enough information in the source training data on a given topic. Many AI models have a cutoff date, so if you ask for something that happened recently, it won't have enough data on that topic to give you an accurate answer. Finally, hallucinations are AI outputs that are straight up factually inaccurate. Sometimes this is a feature and not a bug, when you're brainstorming new ideas, for example. Other times,
So with that, one way to get around the cutoff date, of things, I've noticed that more with ChatGPT than Google Gemini, because Google Gemini is trained off of Google, obviously, and Google has a lot more up-to-date data that it could use. ChatGPT, not specifically using Google's large language model, using its own large language model. So it is a little bit more behind in terms of up-to-date things that I've seen, because Google has so much information people upload to Google every day. People are not uploading that information to OpenAI's large language model. They're have to doing it manually. So it's a little behind in terms of its up-to-dateness.
hallucinations perpetuate false information, so you definitely want to double check your answer for what I call high-stake tasks. For example, what sort of supplement or vitamins to take given your health goals. When it comes to pros and cons, I'm going to start with who this course is not for. This course is not for you if you're already using AI tools like ChatGPT and Google Gemini as part of your daily workflow, and you're looking to dive deeper into specific AI use cases. And that's because although they do a great job explaining complex topics, the examples they give in the course are pretty vague. For instance, in one of the lessons, they gave an example where a company uses AI to decrease customer service response times. And that was it. That was an entire example. It would have been nice to dive a bit deeper and talk about whether this company used a standalone AI tool or a custom AI solution, how they trained the workers to use the AI system, how they grounded the data so that the AI system didn't hallucinate, since this was a customer service application.
Yeah, guys, that is the problem with AI, and especially like a training like that, especially if it's by Google. You think they would give you in-depth stuff, but there's a lot of gate-kept information around AI and how to build out workflows, how to build out AI agents that people don't even tell you. So in the last video we watched of this guy, he taught us a little bit about how to build AI agents and how AI agents work. It's taking that workflow and then automating it so that the AI could do it itself. But even that video that he showed, there's steps that need to be taken for the AI to be able to have its own GPU to go out and run these tasks and do them for you. And it's the same with this that he's saying now, is that they give you one example that's not related to what you're trying to do. And it's not worth it because they didn't tell you the type of AI tool they used, how workers trained to use that tool, and then how the data was grounded. You need all this information to be able to use that in a practical setting for yourself. So there's a lot of gate-kept information is what I'm trying to say.
right? So stuff like that. That being said, this is an excellent beginner level course with 3 huge advantages.
Okay.
First,
beginners.
you're learning from Google employees who are established experts in the field of AI. They know what they're talking about, and they're not just some random person on the internet who enjoys making crass jokes.
This guy and me.
Second, as a visual learner, I'm amazed at how they're able to use simple graphics to explain complex topics. For example, they analogize AI tools and AI models to a car and its engine. The model/engine provides the underlying capabilities, while the tool, like the car, helps you in completing the task. Third, the interactive elements are surprisingly helpful. The activities or homework are well designed in that they actually help you learn a key concept from that lesson. The graded assignments are also not that easy. They're mainly multiple choice, but you actually have to pay attention to get 80% and pass the quiz. Last but not least, the course provides a curated list of AI tools for beginners to explore and includes
That's
a
key.
glossary of common AI terms that are now prevalent in our daily lives. To sum up, this course is great for beginners, visual learners, and you can use the legit certificate you get at the end to attract prospective employers and or partners. If you found this video helpful, you might want to check out my summary of Google's free AI course that's a bit more conceptual, but equally important.
All right, guys. Well, that is another reaction video. 99% of beginners don't know the basics of AI. If you guys fall into that category, you think, please comment on this video. Let's get you inside of the Taylor's Code where we could work together, show you some of the stuff that I'm working on and some of the behind the scenes things that we're building in terms of AI crypto agents, AI Shopify agents. There's so much to learn, so much to build out there. We need the community involved, and we need more people to be talking about this and more people to work together towards a goal. All right, so if you guys like this video and you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow, help us reach more people. With that being said, we'll see you guys on the next video.